Ladies and gentlemen, this Red Game Etc. video, it is, of course, January the 1st. And that means it is the Steam sale. So there's a little bit of an oddity with this one. Pretty much, when you first refreshed it for the first couple of minutes, the whole thing disappeared, which was a bit weird. But now it's back, which is good. And we actually have the deals available. So, first one we're going to discuss is Valdis story, Abyssal City. This is available on Steam for $3.74 and is a green light title. This is a 2D action RPG. Haven't played it myself, but looks fairly fun. The idea is that you're basically going between swords, as in close range combat, and magic as well. So that could be interesting. It scores fairly well on websites such as Metacritic. And, you know, if you're interested in these type of games, you could well at least give it a go. I mean, it's fairly cheap as well, which is definitely a bonus. If you're interested in games like, let's say, 2D or old 2D games such as like Castlevania, it could well be worth checking out as well. I'm talking about Symphony of the Night. The Walking Dead Season 2 is next. 25% off this one, which means it is $18.74. So this is episodic. So right now episode 1 is available, and then 2, 3, 4, and 5 will be released later on. This is exactly the same as, say, the original Season 1 was. So this is a very good game in my opinion. We did do a review of this on RGT, so you can check it out if you so desire. It, of course, follows the hit TV show / comic books, and is not a happy story, right? So if you're going into this expecting fun, as in, like, you know, everything's going to be fun, and everyone's going to be merry, and everyone's going to live, and it's all going to be great, not going to happen. There are people who die. It is a very sad, very depressing at sometimes storyline, but it works very well. Voice acted, of course, as you'd expect from Telltale. The voice acting, the writing, and all of that jazz is well done. You do have choices in the story, just like the original Walking Dead, but there are some decisions you can't change. So in other words, you know, it's just like in real life. You can't influence what others do necessarily, but you can change your responses to it. That may or may not mean that you're going to get the same consequences, however. It's well worth picking up in my opinion, particularly if you're a fan of the TV show, and I think most people are. Next up, Civilization 5. So this is available for $7.49, or you could pick up the Gold Edition. The Gold Edition has a ridiculous amount of extras, or you could pick up the Gold Edition upgrade. There's also a demo available. Now, this is actually fairly unique and a very, what I'd consider, safe game in the sale, because first of all it's a demo, so you could try the demo. Then if you like the demo, you could pick up Civ 5, the standard base game, for $7.49. Then, if you like that, you could then plonk up the extra $5 and then get the upgrade. So in other words, it's not costing you anything extra. So, what is it? Well, it is of course a strategy title. It's extremely well received. One of the best out there. It's not the newest, you know, there are newer titles out there, definitely, but it still is nice aesthetically, and, you know, I'm not going to bother to say too much more on this. It's a demo available. I'd recommend you check it out. It is kind of a grid-based strategy, and that might not mean, I'm sorry, much to some people, but if you try it out, you'll understand. Personally, I'd suggest just try out the demo. If you like it, then there you go. By the way, the Mac version, for whatever reason, doesn't include the soundtrack if you pick up the Gold edition. Next one, You Need a Budget 4. Okay? So, not exactly a game. It's £15. Oh, sorry, $15. That's 75% off. And there is a demo available of this one. So, I can't really tell you what it is, but it's pretty much, as in, like, I've not tried it myself, but it pretty much is exactly what you'd expect. It's basically budgeting software, yeah? So if you need accounting, basic accounting software, then this is what you'd probably go for. If you don't need something like really powerful, like Excel or whatever, then this is pretty much where you should start. Test Drive Unlimited 2. Available for $4.99. This is actually a really beautiful looking racing title. Interestingly, there's a notice which says, and I quote, "We are currently out of keys for this title. We've requested more from the publisher and will have those soon. Should you purchase this title, your key will be delivered as soon as we receive it." So in other words, if you buy this, you might be waiting for a while. It scores okay Metacritic wise and so on. I've never really been a huge racing fan, as regulars know, and Test Drive, never really did it for me. I only play a few racing games. I quite liked Forza, quite liked Gran Turismo, but Test Drive, never really so much. I mean, you might. It's cheap. Only problem, of course, you could be waiting for a few days. I imagine it won't be too long, but, you know, I can't tell you for certain. Cave Story is the next title. So, Cave Story is an early access, and I want to go into this in just a moment. It's $13.39. That's 33% off. And there's a disclaimer. Please be sure to read this disclaimer before you buy the game. It will give you insight of what is or what isn't working. And they said, do you want to be involved in the evolution of the game? Do you want to deal with issues? In other words, this game, they are flat out being honest and saying that there are issues with this game, yeah? So it's an early access. You're going to basically play this game, help to shape it, and that's it. But there are going to be issues. So, in short, if you're someone who doesn't want to deal with crashes, doesn't want to deal with problems, don't buy this game. But anyway, it's a strategy title, and the idea is you get to build a castle brick by brick, and basically create and then defend your... So it's a little bit like a tower defense with a creation element built in. I haven't played it personally. It looks fairly cool, but I'm just warning you guys, you know, according to the developers, there are issues with it, but that's understandable. Okay, what's next? Well, everyone yell with me, Mortal Kombat! Right, now you need to stop this video for a second, go to YouTube, search for the Mortal Kombat theme tune for the, you know, the old movie, then come back afterwards, you get the score. Anyway, this is the complete edition and is available for 66% off. That means it's just over $10, $10.19 to be precise. So, what is there for me to say about this game? I can't really say much other than it is a 2D fighter. I mean, I'm sure most of you are aware what the hell Mortal Kombat is. I have done the first impressions of it, so you could check it out. I'm awful at the game because I don't really get to play it that much. It's cheap. I'm not sure what the PC community is like, right? So if your idea behind this is, oh, okay, well, I want a game to play online, you know, to beat on people, then I suggest that you do a little bit of reading, just to make sure that there's an active PC scene. I'm sure that you'll get games, I just don't know how frequent they'd be, compared to, say, the Xbox version. It looks better on PC, obviously, compared to the consoles. It means that you've got fairly generous options. They're not super generous, but they're not too bad. It's a fun game. It's maybe not the most balanced out of 2D fighters, but it's pretty decent, honestly. I actually really love Mortal Kombat, and yeah, so worth picking up in my personal opinion. Next, Just Cause 2. Ah dear. Right, first of all, this is worth getting because of a recent multiplayer mod, which is absolute chaos, but I'll go into the basic version first. So, Just Cause 2. Well, it's available for $2.99, which is a ridiculously cheap price. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you're interested in a realistic open world game, and by realistic I mean with a hint of realism, say GTA level, march on. This is not it. This is the type of realism where you're falling from the sky, use a grappling hook at the ground, and the extra momentum and power will actually save you. So in other words, you're going towards the ground even faster now, and that's what will save your life. This is the kind of thing where you can pretty much ride from a jet plane, fly the jet plane halfway across an island, exit out of the jet plane by jumping out, and then constantly pull new parachutes and use your hook shot and parachute combinations to basically rocket across the island at ridiculous speed. This is basically an action hero fantasy game. right, sit on an island that is ludicrously large. That's not to say there aren't issues with it. It can get a little bit boring at times. Some of the missions aren't exactly even. Some of the rewards aren't evenly spaced. For example, sometimes you can do a ridiculously lengthy, difficult, convoluted mission, and you'll get pretty much the same reward as if you were equivalent to mowing down 2 bad guys. In other words, the rewards sometimes don't justify what you'd expect for the work involved. The other problem is there is quite a little bit of copy and paste with the clone brush. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a good game. I wouldn't recommend, if you're valuing sanity, that you try to get 100% completion, because it's going to take you a while. Graphically, it's very beautiful, I will confess. There's a demo of it. Try it. I honestly like this game. I have also done a first impressions on the channel. It was quite a while ago. I can't seem to speak occasionally for some reason today, but whatever. So yeah, check it out. See what you think. I personally think it's worth buying, especially for the price. And there's a multiplayer mod, as I mentioned earlier, which adds tons and tons and tons and tons of goodies. Next, a green light title, Hammer's Watch, or Hammer Watch, actually, excuse me. 3:39. It's a green light title, and it looks okay. It's a hack and slash adventure set in, as they consider it, a pixel art environment. So the idea behind this is it's either solo or co-op, but with the fact that it's got a 4-pack available for $10, it's pretty obvious what you want to do. You can obviously do the normal things, such as improve your character and so on, and it is co-op focused, in my personal opinion, from what I'm reading. It scores okay Metacritic-wise. I honestly haven't tried it myself. If you're interested in these type of games, could well be worth it. Finally, I'm going to quickly go through the flash deals, or at least those that I have played. Street Fighter 4. Very good. PC version looks slightly better than consoles. Only issue, I'm not sure how good the online scene is for PC. I'm told it's pretty good. Obviously, we're going to be getting the new version released of Street Fighter 4 soon. But still, if you've not played Street Fighter 4, this is going to at least give you some practice. Plus, as well, if you own the console versions and you're just interested in modding, the PC version actually has a lot of mods, like new skins and stuff available if you so desire. Interstellar Marines. I've never played Interstellar Marines, so can't help you. Legend of Grimrock, I've done a first impressions of. It's actually really good. It's an old style dungeon crawler, and when I say old style, I'm talking like really, how can I put this? It's a brutal one. If you're interested in like an old style, good, honest to gracious, functional dungeon crawler, look here. It has stats up the wazoo. It's a fun game. I have covered it on the channel. And yeah, that's about it. Finally, Rayman Legends. There's a demo available. We have covered it on the channel, should you want. It's a rather beautiful looking game, and it's actually better than what you might expect if this isn't normally your cup of tea. I actually would recommend it. It's $19.99, so fairly expensive, but well worth the money in my opinion. And that's it. So anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.